Hey everyone, Commander Josh Hawkins here, and welcome to another episode of Exploring Elite Dangerous Horizons. In this episode, we're going to take a look at some of the changes coming in patch 2.2.03, which was just announced today. The patch contains a number of exciting changes to the core mechanics of the game, including changes to power play, engineers, as well as major combat rebalancing. In a Q&A live stream with Ed Lewis this afternoon, Sandro Samarco and Mark Allen discussed some of the changes we'll see in patch 2.2.03, coming out sometime in the new year. But for those of you with beta access, the wait is only one day. Patch 2.2.03 will be going into beta tomorrow, December 7th, and will run through most of the upcoming holidays, with the actual point update itself releasing sometime in the new year. We've already got a lot of details, but the devs are keeping a few surprises to themselves. It's been 3 months since the first alien crash site was discovered, and already a month ago that the alien ruins were found, so perhaps this new update will also bring some of the answers that many of us have been eagerly awaiting. Let's take a look at some of what we know. Elite Dangerous's power play system is a dynamic, ongoing battle for interstellar conquest and control, which players can influence through their choices and actions. Being primarily an explorer, I haven't had the opportunity to participate in power play much myself, but the little time that I did have with it caused me a lot of frustration since I kept getting interdicted by NPCs of opposing powers every few minutes. No matter where I went, these NPCs would find me and try to kill me, even in the home system for my aligned power. This made me drop out of power play entirely, probably missing out on something that I feel has a lot of great potential, but ended up wasting too much of the game time that I had available. Patch 2.2.03 addresses this issue by tweaking how Powerplay AI reacts to players. Powerplay AI will now use a stricter rule set when deciding on whether to engage with a player pledged to a rival power, only doing so if the player is actively taking part in a power play activity. The devs have also reduced the ship spawn rate and authority response to power play crimes to allow for less traffic and more power play activities in high security systems. If you aren't carrying any power play commodities or kill vouchers, NPCs may still interdict you, but should leave you alone once they've scanned your ship, meaning less chance of facing a rebuy screen for simply passing through. Many engineer blueprints are being looked at and are receiving balance changes in order to bring more choices to commanders looking to customize their ship, yet still remain competitive. While we may see some power reduction in certain blueprints, these changes are primarily about buffs, as well as defining roles for some whose purpose wasn't clear. 9 new Grade 4 and 5 blueprints are also being added for burst laser, beam laser, mines, missiles, torpedoes, railguns, hull reinforcements, armor, and shield boosters. If you're wondering if you'll have to go get new mods in order to take advantage of these buffs, don't worry. Frontier has stated that any modified blueprint will affect existing items, which will be updated as if they had always been rolled with the new recipe. Removed attributes will be stripped off, new ones will be rolled, existing ones will be mapped onto the new range. But the biggest change to engineers is that the crafting commodities will likely be temporarily removed from blueprints until a better system can be put into place. The current system forces commanders to have a cargo rack outfitted, as well as sacrifice part of that cargo space in order to carry the crafting components. Frontier would like to implement a crafting commodity storage into the game, but have not yet been able to do so successfully. This change removes the burden of always having to carry those components, and will also allow for more diverse ship builds for people who don't care about scooping up commodities. Possibly the biggest changes coming in patch 2.2.03 are the changes coming to combat. Most of the game's weapons are being balanced in hopes of making a lot more loadout choices viable as a combat ship, starting with fixed and gimbal weapons. Although fixed weapons do hit substantially harder than gimbals, they're equally hard to aim and keep sustained amounts of damage on the target. In order to fix this, Frontier is looking to make fixed weapons more efficient and increase their ability to sustain fire, while simultaneously making gimbals less of a guarantee to hit. This will give players more choices when building their ship, but without increasing the raw damage gap between the two. The changes coming to gimbals would link them directly to your ship's sensors, which will now affect the maximum gimbal angle. This will work similarly to how distant or cold targets currently reduce this size, and in the worst case, with the weakest sensors, the angle will be slightly more than half of what it is now. Broken sensors will also disable gimbals. But in order to help keep your modules from being destroyed, a new defense module is being added. These defense module packs will be purchasable through the regular outfitting screen and act a lot like hull reinforcements, but for modules. They will have a health of their own, but will also be able to absorb a certain amount of incoming damage to your module until they break and are no longer functional, though they will be repairable with AFMUs. And finally, the reboot and repair sequence is receiving some changes in regards to how it interacts with shields. A completed reboot repair sequence will now jumpstart your shields to 50% upon completion, but only if you're moving slowly. That last part is to make sure that commanders in fast ships don't just boost, turn off FA, and repair while drifting away. You will need to be near stationary for this to work. There's a huge list of other weapon balance changes which will require extensive testing, and considering how fundamental some of these changes are to the core gameplay, I encourage anyone who has access to the beta to get out there, start testing as much as possible, and report as much as you can back to Frontier using the bug report and beta feedback forums. There are many other changes, updates, and tweaks coming in the patch, with a full list of patch notes becoming available once the beta goes live. So stay tuned to my channel for more updates, and make sure you've subscribed and turned on notifications to stay current with the most up-to-date patch news and beta live streams. This is Commander Josh Hawkins, signing off. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and check out some of the other Elite Dangerous videos on my channel. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.